y'all, here's another Leetcode problem. This is to determine if one string is an anagram of the other string. So you're given two strings, you need to find out if they're anagrams of each other. The definition of a anagram strings are essentially if both strings contain the same characters for the same frequency of each of those characters. Meaning, let's say this first string has 3 instances of the character A. Well, the second string needs to have 3 instances of the character A for them to be anagrams when all of the characters in the first string can be found in the second string. Order does not matter here. Alright, so let's move on to the code. The idea here is to use something called a frequency array. Basically, we got an array, we have 26 elements to represent 26 characters, 26 letters in the alphabet, and then for each letter of the alphabet, we're going to record how many times we've seen that letter, right? So here we are, we're looping through the first string, and essentially what all this line is doing is saying, hey, if we see the letter A, then we'll mark it as we've seen it once. If we see it another time, as we're looping through, so we say that we've seen it twice. So this is just an increment with our initial value starting at 0, so we're just incrementing how many times we've seen that particular character. It doesn't have to be A, it can be any character. This little bit of magic here is based off of ASCII, the ASCII table. So here's the ASCII table, right? Here you can find the lowercase a, which is mapped to decimal value 97, right? Here you can find the lowercase c character mapped to decimal value 122. So all we're doing is we're expecting a lowercase character, right, as we're looping through, and we're taking the ASCII value of that lowercase character. So if it's J, the ASCII value is 106, and then we subtract the ASCII value of J with the ASCII value of A. So 106 from J minus 97 from A. Whatever that value is, whatever that magical number is, that maps to the index for J inside our frequency array that we call letter count. Moving on to the second for loop, so we're looping through the second string, and every time we see a character in that second string, we try to decrement its corresponding index and value from our frequency array. And then here is the third for loop. In this for loop, we're just looping through the frequency array, and then we are ensuring that all values in the frequency array are zeroed out. If they're not zeroed out, that means we have an extra character somewhere, or we have too few characters, something of that nature, right? So we return false to say it's not an anagram. Otherwise, if we made it all the way down here, that means we have guaranteed that the frequency array is all zeroed out, because the first for loop has positive numbers to the frequency array. The second for loop should balance that out if it's an anagram, so zero it out. Let's run this solution, and you will find that this solution beats 100%. There are other solutions out there, such as using maybe like an STD mapped structure as opposed to a frequency array. The problem with using STD map is that you incur the extra overhead of insertion and lookup. That overhead cost is not free. It's relatively fast. I think something on the order of logarithmic or logarithms n times n. Um, Anyways, hope you find that useful. Thank you.